Hi, Alex.
Hi, Lama. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, very good.
Yeah, I was just talking to Sirka, and she said, "It's great. Alex is ready to join our team. So let's see if I can answer any of your questions.
Mhm.
Shoot.
Yeah. So, hmm. So I guess to start, I'll just kind of mention that, hmm, I kind of signed up without really knowing a whole lot about the course and the program itself. I know that Serkan and I did a little bit of life mapping and we put out that whole 1 year plan. But when people ask me what I'll be learning in this course, I've kind of been telling people that it's a mix of qigong, martial arts, and personal development. But how would you describe or quantify what's taught in the basic program?
I think you have a perfect description. It is exactly what it is. An integration or amalgamation of Qigong, martial arts, and personal development. So in terms of Qigong, we will be learning the principles of energy awareness, body awareness, and kinesthetic awareness so that we can develop a more harmonious culture of movement. When people think of Qigong, they often think of doing some forms. We won't be doing forms. We will be learning the principles underlying all those forms, testing them, and experimenting with applications of these principles so that they really get integrated into a culture of movement, which is basically the term that I coined, harmonious culture of movement. This is something that allows you to move in a different way from the way that most people move.
I
However,
see.
it's the way that Qigong and Tai Chi masters move.
Oh,
They move this way throughout their daily lives, often not because they do forms, but because they integrated the principles. But they usually don't teach the principles. So basically, the students often end up just learning the forms. Well, it's really important to know what's beneath the veneer of those forms. And that's essentially what we learn. As a result of that, you will be able to develop greater energy awareness, ability to make decisions based on energy resonance, which is what we also refer to as discernment. And using discernment, by and large, is the most intelligent way to make decisions. That's the key that unlocks the wisdom. Well, that's also transition to personal development. In terms of personal development, we also have certain meditation practices that will engage you in developing exactly that discernment and mindfulness, and also engage you in exploring the state of consciousness that we all experience in our daily lives pretty much every day. We call it daydreaming. Most
oh,
people, when they do meditation, they actually try to suppress the mental process called daydreaming because
right.
most meditators, when they sit and try to meditate, they actually end up sitting and daydreaming a whole bunch.
Yeah, yeah. You're kind of told generally to like not fixate on your thoughts or whatever thoughts might come up.
Right. And the thoughts are made of energy of consciousness. Any images, any ideas, any course of action that you may be thinking of, they all have certain energy. And you can actually develop discernment by assessing how well you resonate with those thoughts, patterns, or courses of action. Just like listening to music, you may resonate with some music better than others. And if you listen to that music which you really resonate with, you can probably listen to it for hours, as opposed to listening to something that you can't stand. Your body will be cringing and probably you will feel more stressed if you are exposed to the music that you can't stand. Of course,
Right.
different strokes are for different folks. So nobody says this is good music and this is bad music. That's not how we go about it. We actually develop authentic sense of energy resonance that may be different from one person to another. And that authenticity is something that is not usually taught in the context of Qigong, just simply because Qigong mostly comes from China and Chinese culture doesn't really value authenticity that much.
Oh,
They value that people do things similar to the way that others are doing things. So basically, they have a cohesive society and nobody is sticking out too much. Well, luckily enough, what I teach and practice is Tibetan Qigong. And in Tibetan culture, authenticity is highly valued. And that's exactly what we will be exploring and developing. And in terms of martial arts, we also are going to explore how to project energy in different directions, up, down, back and forth, in and out. In other words, we develop an ability to work with the three-dimensional space and not only deal with the projection of energy, but also develop ability to move in the 3D space in much more effective and a graceful manner. Again, coming back to that harmonious culture movement, we learn how to move in a way that is also capable of sustaining a more harmonious state of consciousness, because you are the way you move. And so that kind of creates this holistic, overarching principle of our practice, that you develop a way to use your body also as a means to create a more harmonious way of being. Now, I hope that you don't mind experiencing greater harmony in your life.
no, that's kind of what I'm looking for.
Okay, well, that's exactly what we do.
Awesome.
And we learn how to not just talk a good talk, but actually embody a harmonious way of being so that we walk the talk, literally. In terms of martial arts, when people learn different styles, they learn how to do certain punches or certain kicks or maybe blocks or various techniques. What we learn is how to move in a way that allows you to project energy waves. Energy waves is basically the energetic underpinning of all those kicks and punches.
Oh,
But how often do martial artists actually learn to understand their actions or actions of others as energy events? Well, that's
no.
exactly what those are, except if we don't pay attention to the energetic nature of kicks, punches, or various other martial arts maneuvers, we don't regard them as such. So we don't relate to them in regard to their true energy or the energy associated with those particular projections or techniques.
Mm.
Well, what we do is we learn how to actually relate to all our actions as energy events. So I'm making an elbow strike. This is an energy projection. How do I make it so that it would be in the most aligned way, done in alignment, for example, with my center line? So everything that happens on my center line, this is like a power line in my body. I actually have maximum control and greatest amount of power that I can project here. Now, there are some styles, for example, Wing Chun, where they teach about center line alignment, but they're few and far between. And unlike Wing Chun, where I don't know how familiar you are with Wing Chun, but they usually strike with fists, and they often train on the wooden dummies.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, terrible idea.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible idea because, first of all, the fist punch is never as powerful as strike with open hand.
Oh, really?
Because, well, there are two really important reasons. Number one reason is that it requires tension. Just to clench your fist requires certain tension in your forearm. Well, energy doesn't flow very easily through tense muscles and other tissues of the body. Like most of us have some energy blockages. Well, how do those energy blockages come about? Nobody is doing them to us. We actually tense up and develop them ourselves unwittingly. Well, unwittingly, a person who's creating a fist and punching with it actually has the tension in the lower arm that creates an energy blockage. Literally, creating an obstacle to the flow of energy that they would want to send into their punch. I don't want to say that there is no energy available at all, but it's not as fluid or doesn't flow as easily as it could, as compared to the open palm strike, which doesn't require tension. As a matter of fact, the more relaxed you are, the more power you have in your strike.
Huh.
So it's kind of opposite of what most people think when they try to learn martial arts. But when you look at high-level martial artists, they're not stiff and rigid, and they're not punching with a lot of force. They're actually fluid and relaxed. And the more advanced the practitioner is, the more relaxed he is. So we learn how to basically take a shortcut to mastery. I hope that makes sense. The second reason why open palm strikes are more powerful than punches is actually purely energetic. There is an energy point in the center of the Lagun point, in the center of the palm called Lagun point. It's like a major energy gateway in the middle of the palm. It projects energy perpendicular to the surface of the palm. So when I push something, my energy flows forward. If I strike downwards, my energy flows downwards wherever the palm is pointing. If I lift something up or do an uppercut, the palm is facing upwards, that's where the energy is going to go. However, when you clench the fist and you punch with it, or even when you do a karate chop, the Lagun point in the middle of the palm is pointing at 90 degrees angle in relation to where you're trying to project energy. Whether you're doing the punch like this or anyhow else, or a karate chop, the Lagun point is actually pointing at 90 degrees in relation to where the target is. Well, that's too bad, because it literally robs you of the opportunity to have a powerful energy projection. So just a lot of important details that are either completely missing or partially missing in many styles of martial arts, because they focus on forms or appearances or techniques that make it look right, but actually don't understand the energetic principles behind the techniques of forms. Does it make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's see.
Did it answer your question?
Yeah, I've got a couple of others as well, if that's all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
I'm curious about the info that's contained in the workbooks you mentioned. Is it, I guess, what's that oriented towards, and how many of them are there?
Well, I've published several books. The two of my books, the basic Qidao book called The Art of Being in the Flow, and also the basic Qidao workbook, serve as the materials for our basic Qidao program. The chapters of the book basically are broken into the module of the online course. So you'll be able to download those chapters. You also will be able to use the workbook for checking yourself as you're progressing along the program. So it's kind of like a self-testing, self-assessment workbook, plus also provides you some additional ideas and homework to do. It also, the online course also includes a number of training videos for each of the module. And it also offers recordings of the webinars that I've delivered in previous iterations of our programs. So basically, I handpicked the webinars that I've been teaching these programs for the last 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Way before the webinars started, I was doing teleseminars, but I'm not offering teleseminar recordings. That would be probably not as much fun, but you can watch the webinars where I basically offer kind of like a more compact explanation of a particular topic of the module, and also offer some of the more granular details that perhaps I did not explain as thoroughly in the book. Also, I published my first book in 2008, so obviously it's been 15 years. There are some refinements that I'm making all the time. Plus, I took painstaking efforts to translate all my knowledge into English. 10 years ago, my English was not as good as today. Basically, there is some improvement happening each and every time I teach this program. And those webinars are kind of a nice representation of this development. And every week, you will be receiving access to a group coaching session. So either myself or one of my apprentices, who are all certified Qigong coaches, will be doing these group coaching sessions. The 3 people participating in the group are all enrolled in our program. So they will basically be going through exploration of those practices, or ask questions, or maybe even share some of their experiences. Basically, it's not just a lecture, it's an interactive experience where members of the group are invited to ask any questions or engage in some more one-on-one, not one-on-one, but in group coaching. There is one-on-one coaching as well. Most of the online programs like these don't include one-on-one component at all. We actually have that integrated. So every month there is a one-on-one coaching call, either with myself. The first one is definitely will be with me to provide you the orientation and get you on the right track, so to speak. And then either with myself or with one of my apprentices, you will be receiving individual coaching every month. So it's a 3-month-long program, so you'll receive 3 such sessions. At the end of the program, we also have a live event, a weekend workshop. So not all the practices that we're doing are done virtually like we're talking right now. We actually have an opportunity to have a face-to-face interaction, have some hands-on experiences. Again, I will be teaching the workshop. I will also have several of my apprentices participating as the teacher's assistants. And there will be a great opportunity for you to have hands-on experience with them, with other members of our program, or with myself. And at the end of that weekend workshop, I will be conducting initiation into the practice of empowerment. Often people receive empowerments from Tibetan lamas. Instead of giving empowerment, I actually initiate my students into the practice of self-empowerment, which is basically like, instead of giving you fish, I'm teaching you how to fish. Does it make sense?
Yeah. So for the private sessions, those are 1 per month for 3 months?
Yes, indeed.
And then for the group sessions, because with the group sessions being during the middle of the day, they're going to be difficult for me to schedule around my job. How many, those are every week, right?
Yes, they're weekly.
Okay.
You are welcome to participate in all of them. If there is any difficulty attending any of them, obviously, many of our students happen to be scattered all over the world. So you will be able to also enjoy the recordings of those. They usually happen in the morning, like or 11 o'clock your time, simply because we also want to make it possible for the folks, for example, who live in Europe or Middle East to participate, simply because of the time zone difference.
Right.
Folks who live in Asia or Australia, the shit is out of luck for them, because it's in the middle of the night for them.
With the weekend, I'm sorry, what did you call it? The ceremony in Portland for
the weekend workshop.
Weekend workshop, yes. When and where in Portland is that going on?
Well, let me take a look at my calendar. So it's going to be in October. We are still working on identifying specific days when it's going to be happening, but most likely the middle of October, tentatively speaking, for example, 14th and 15th, Saturday and Sunday, 14th and 15th of October. I will be just coming back from a tour in Europe at the end of September. Should be back by the beginning of October. And I will definitely be the one teaching that workshop. So I'm just going to give myself a week or so to kind of get over the jet lag and whatnot. And where it is going to be, I will be sending the address of our studio. It's in kind of on the border between Portland and the suburb of Portland called Beaverton. So there is a movement studio that I use for our events, and that's where we're going to be holding our event this time.
Will there be the opportunity for students to coordinate accommodations together, or is that just all individual?
Most of the folks just use either Airbnb or a nearby hotel. But you're welcome to also request, we will have an ongoing kind of an online community chat on our website. So it's kind of like a Facebook group, but instead of Facebook where there's a ton of distractions, it's going to be in a private website. So you will have access to this website, and on that chat group, you'll be able to collaborate with other students, figure out who's going to stay where, and maybe find a roommate if you want to have somebody to split the room with. And you are in Utah, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so for you, it's probably one of the shortest trips to Oregon. There are folks who fly here from other countries and overseas.
Oh my gosh.
It's a little bit of a longer journey.
Wow.
Well, sometimes they don't just take a 2-day workshop, but stay here for a week or so.
Oh, I see.
Have a little bit more of a exposure to our practices. Either myself or one of my apprentices also can work with them for that time. If you want that, we'll be able to arrange it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see. How long is each group session? Is it an hour, 2 hours?
An hour, up to an hour and a half.
How long is each private session? The same?
About the same. Oh, and here is my apprentice Circa joining us. She wanted to say hi.
Excellent.
Hi, Circa.
Hi, Circa.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Hi. How are you, Alex?
Good. How are you?
Good. I love your background.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, my brother got this tapestry a while ago. He's got this other one. It's the Wheel of Samsara right there.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Intermediate and advanced programs, we actually dive into it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a Tibetan Lama, might as well, right?
Oh, right.
All right, yeah, so we'll be exploring, even in the context of the basic Chido program, we'll already start looking at things, for example, like holding patterns in different states of consciousness. Well, in more advanced levels of our training, we actually dive into the philosophical and spiritual underpinnings of what does it mean? And we'll see that each of them correspond to a specific realm of being, a realm of existence, as we would call it in Tibetan Buddhism. And that wheel of life it represents exactly that. There are 6 different realms that, as you can see, they're like slices of a pie chart, with the center being that 7th state, the state of equanimity that we aspire to achieve, and learn how to have equanimity in our mind, but also embody equanimity as a state of equipoise or balance, so that we are not holding ourselves in some funny ways. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so I'm happy to answer any other questions you have.
Yeah, just a couple more things.
Sure.
So we talked a little bit about your background, but what would you say separates you from other teachers that are out there?
Well, as I mentioned, most teachers teach forms.
Mhm.
I don't do any forms.
Right, it's all
In fact,
fundamentals.
Many fundamentals, applications, learning how to test, learning how to integrate. Basically, form if you think about it, is like a poem in a foreign language.
Mhm.
And you can learn a poem or maybe several poems in a foreign language. You can even sing them, and maybe you can even dance to them. But the idea is that it's not going to make you fluent in that language. It's just going to be a nice performance. My mother, before she got a PhD in engineering, she was actually an opera singer. And
Oh.
she was great. And she was actually performing in Italian, the operas by Puccini,
Oh, wow.
and also in German by Wagner. So people thought she spoke fluent Italian and fluent German. She didn't. She sang like a bird, but she didn't speak those languages. The same thing happens to most people who study Qigong and martial arts in general. They literally learn how to perform a particular form, like a song in a foreign language, or at least a poem. But it doesn't make them fluent because they don't really learn what matters. If you want to learn a foreign language, well, you need to start with the alphabet. In the context of our studies, each letter is like a principle.
Mhm.
So as you develop awareness of these principles, you basically understand the alphabet of this language. Now, of course, you start putting these letters together to form words. That is essentially the ability to perform energy in a particular direction, back and forth, up and down, with arms and also with the lower limbs or legs. A lot of Qigong styles don't use lower limbs, like they don't have legs. They
Oh.
just focus on the upper body for whatever reason. Now, we learn how to use legs because it's really important. We also learn how to project energy using, and also how to receive energy projections from others. So we're not only learning how to deliver a nice strike, we also learn how to deal with other people trying to strike us or project energy at us, as we always put it into energetic terms.
Mhm.
Many people tell me that what I'm doing nowadays is kind of similar to what Bruce Lee was doing in the 70s, when he was also railing against the stereotypical forms and styles. What I'm doing essentially is like picked up where Bruce Lee left off and elevated to the next level, which is the ability to integrate it into a lifestyle. It's not enough to just develop another nice style like Bruce Lee developed Jeet Kune Do. It's actually important to develop a lifestyle that integrates the principles of energy awareness, body awareness, ability to make decisions based on energy resonance, and all of these things that we will be exploring.
Hmm.
Now, that definitely separates me from pretty much all other teachers. That's why I created the whole new profession of Qigong coaching. Basically, that's what our coaches do. They practice Qigong coaching. I had to create this new profession because nobody was teaching people or coaching them how to actually develop a lifestyle and way of being that would integrate all these energy principles and skills that we're working on.
Yeah.
Sense?
Yeah. I've kind of been struggling with integration lately. I mentioned to Sergey that I went on an ayahuasca journey not too long ago to sort of provide clarity and direction in my life. And, ultimately I was faced with the reality that I was not allowing myself to take the wheel. I was putting it up to others. And since I've been back, it's been really hard for me to actually integrate what I've learned since.
Well,
Yeah.
that's one of the main things that we do. We learn how to integrate instead of compartmentalize,
Mhm.
instead of separating, okay, this is my spiritual journey and this is my daily life.
Yeah.
World versus the spiritual world. They have to integrate. They have to become one, because otherwise we always experience this energetic block, basically not allowing ourselves to live our lives more fully because we're compartmentalizing things and building walls inside of our system.
Mhm.
Well, we learn how to basically take those walls down and experience unification and integration. So that's essentially what our individual coaching sessions will be dedicated to.
Awesome.
And trust
And
me,
just to, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead, Sergey.
No, I just wanted to speak into that, Alex, since I hope you can hear me for the wild rain we're having right here.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to speak into the ayahuasca journeys combined with the practice of Qi Dao, because I actually, some of my best friends here are ayahuasqueros, and I'm going on
Oh.
a journey next week, and it's one of the most wonderful things that I like to incorporate with my Qi Dao practice, because what I'm seeing, even in my friends, is that some people going through ayahuasca journeys, they kind of get stuck in the astral realm, or like up in the ether, and they don't know, they don't have a practice on how to ground it into their bodies, so they actually don't embody that spiritual awareness they now have. And then it's just an awareness, and you don't know how to use it, you don't know what to do about it, you don't know how to actually use it in your daily life. So actually, some of, John, my husband, who's also a Qigong coach, he works with some of these people who've gone through spiritual journeys and psychedelic journeys to embody what they're doing, because there's no teachings about that in ayahuasca journeys. So
Yeah.
I've used the Academy of Qi Dao a lot in my journeys, because, and I even want to say, without the Academy of Qi Dao, I don't know if I would have known how to really fully implement the psychedelic realm into the body. Like Lama always say, you are the way you move. And if you just sit still and only experience like stuff in the ether, it's never going to be embodied. It's never going to be part of who you truly are, because we humans have bodies, and the bodies are not just transportation for our heads or our imagination, right? So we have to integrate it. Yeah. So I just wanted to speak into that, and that's my experience with ayahuasca. I love those journeys, but I really needed help integrating it physically.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Without any integration, those remain just that, journeys. What we learn is how to make it so that they're not just trips, they're the spiritual turning points on our life journey. Now, that is what most people hope to experience as a result of those journeys, but we actually make sure that we recognize the lessons contained therein, change our lifestyle, and most importantly, do something that majority of people never do in their lives, and that is assess and reevaluate our values. If our values stay the same, we'll be doing the same thing that we used to do. And if we expect different results by doing the same thing, well, that's a good sign of insanity. And we learn how to live sane life and have that an awareness to experience the transformation that can be facilitated by psychedelics, not always done successfully, because, like you said, integration is a tricky part.
So on that note, what's the best way I can maximize my return on investment in this course? What's a good way to get the absolute most out of all this work?
Absolute most out of this work would ideally be to have a practice partner who is participating in the program together with you.
Mm-hmm.
I think you mentioned that you had somebody who you could be practicing with.
Mm-hmm.
You could invite that person to be practicing with you and learning things that you're learning. The absolute best, of course, would be to invite that person to enroll in our program alongside with you. And that person basically would be keeping you accountable so that each of you essentially have greater motivation. And at the same time, it's really nice to have somebody to test these things with, because when people are learning how to test, it's really nice to have another person who would provide a bit more objectivity.
Right.
Well, having a practice partner does exactly that. I always put it this way that those of my students who have a practice partner excel virtually always better than those who don't have practice partner. And as I mentioned before, your practice partner, if he chooses to enroll in a program, you actually will receive a referral bonus.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there are a lot of pros and virtually no cons to that.
Well, and also I wanted to just add, like, start teaching as soon as you're initiated, as soon as you have your certification, because that's literally what I did. Like
Oh.
Lama encourages that the whole way through. I came home from the weekend workshop, Sunday, Monday morning, I had clients. I incorporated what I learned already
Oh.
because it was so like a profound change in my body that I felt like, wow, my students, I'm a vocal coach. I was like, my students really need to learn this. Yeah. And I've seen my husband do the same thing, like really incorporated everything that we learn, like into everything you do in your life, like literally like how I stir my pot. Like, oh, how is my holding pattern right now? When I stir this pot and I cook this soup, oh, I always hold out. Like we go through those in the program, but it's like, how can you maximize your return of investment? Start teaching, right away.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's why working with a practice partner is so great, because inadvertently you will be coaching him, he will be coaching you. So that exchange enhances and deepens the understanding and application of all the things that we'll be going through.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice to have somebody to practice with and just to share some experiences, ideas, bounce some questions against, and just simply have camaraderie. Basically, because our academy has expanded from our base in Portland, Oregon, internationally, we have people from all over the world, but in their particular locales, they sometimes don't have any other practitioners of our art. So basically, I invite them and implore them to go out and find somebody to practice with, even if it is just your friend, neighbor, lover. Basically, engaging another person in practice makes a huge difference.
Indeed.
Like you said, people ask you, what is this program about? What are you going to be doing? Well, just figuring out how to verbalize and explain what you're learning is already a major step in the right direction, because you don't want to feel like totally isolated. I'm doing something weird and nobody understands what I do. It's great to be able to explain things in a way that inspires other people, and they're like, wow, dude, that's really cool. I want more of that. Well, that's exactly what
Yeah.
most of our students feel like. They are learning how to inspire others. And then if they want to become coaches, well, obviously there is additional training to become a Qigong coach, but there is so much more that we can do in addition to just telling people, this is really cool stuff where I'm learning. We can actually walk them through the exploration and discover for themselves how to be more aligned, how to be more empowered, how to be more awake. Well, that's what most of us want, but not very many people know how to do it.
Right.
Well, I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. Thank you both so much for taking the time to answer these questions for me. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
really
you're
nice
welcome.
that you have good questions, because obviously it means that you're putting some thought into it, and just to formalize or verbalize these questions already requires some mental acuity.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so let me do this thing. Let me just simply give you an opportunity to go to our website and just click the link and enroll now, so that either myself or Circa can help you go through the enrollment process. If you have any questions or challenges with the website, you can obviously also say, oh, something is not working, and we can help you out with that.
Is it a lengthy process?
No, it's going to take it 2 or 3 minutes.
Oh, okay.
I'm putting in the chat right here a link, so you can just click on that.
And the first day is on the 12th, right?
Well, actually, we have so many applicants who filled our scholarship applications that we have to give ourselves more time to talk to everyone and to see who's who. So basically, we are putting our beginning of the program to the end of the month.
Oh, wow.
Okay with you. And we will hit the ground running. I believe it's either the last Wednesday of July or the first Wednesday of August. I think it's the first Wednesday of August.
Wednesday, August 2nd. Yeah.
August 2nd, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and in terms of the weekend workshop completing the program, the dates, as I said, also are right now in flux. We will figure out, since we are going to push the beginning of the program a little bit down the road, it also may move the dates for a trip to Portland by a couple of weeks. So don't buy tickets yet. Enroll in the program first.
All right.
So let me know when you're on the website.
Yes.
Feel free to share your screen. Then
Oh,
it'll give us an opportunity to see what you're doing. And
yeah, I'm putting in my credit card number. Hang on.
okay, well, we don't need to know your credit card number.
Well, yeah. And I mean, if there's no problems, it's more like if you have run into anything, it can be easy to share screen.
Okay. Let's see here. Can you see my screen all right?
Yes, perfect. Yes.
Perfect.
Purchase successful. I believe it's about time to welcome you into the Academy of Chia.
Thank you.
Still working on his password.
Okay, password.
I don't know. For whatever reason, I usually trust the browser to come up with a clever password for me that is like all complicated.
I've come up with a really lengthy one that has a ton of different
That's
characters and
awesome.
symbols,
Oh,
but that
right.
I've got memorized.
That's nice.
There we go.
Oh, welcome to Academy of Chida.
Welcome to the Academy of Chia, Alex. Oh, I'm so excited that you're
Thank
in.
you. Me too.
Awesome. All right. Well, I will be sending you a link to book an orientation session. Like I said, the first private session will be with me. So
Perfect.
I will actually personally get you on the right track. You'll also receive a separate email with the invitation to log in into our library, where you'll get access to online materials that I mentioned.
Mhm.
And also you'll be receiving a separate email with the schedule of the group coaching sessions, so that you'll be able to maybe figure out if it's possible to kind of weave those into your Wednesdays. Is Wednesday a doable day for you at all?
Wednesdays should work. Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Well, if you have any other questions, you have my email address. Don't hesitate to email me. I'll be happy to answer your questions. You also know how to contact Circus, so stay in touch, and I will look forward to working with you.
Me too. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Yourself.
much, Alex. Namaste.
Namaste.